Hi, let's all get naked and have some fun. Do you know, most people have the wrong idea about being naked. Nakedness is nothing to be ashamed of. Where do we get this concept of being naked is wrong? Well, the book, the holy book, the Bible. We misread the book of the Bible and perceive that the concept of being naked is wrong. When we first met Adam and Eve in Genesis 1:27, God created them equal. Yeah, they were different, but they were equal. There was no division of labor, there was no gender roles, and there's nothing that would stimulate or excite or provoke them in doing something illicit. They were naked. They were equal. However, if we jump to Genesis 3, and that little apple story, you remember that little apple story? Well, guess what? There is no apple story. The apple is a misconception. Adam and Eve ate a fruit. The exact fruit was not known, but it presumably is the pomegranate. Well, anyways, once they ate the apple, their eyes were open. Well, did they walk around blind before that? No. They were not aware of between right and wrong. You know, it's like we see ourselves naked every morning when we get out of the showers, but we're not excited, we're not provoked, we don't think it's shameful. It's natural. Now, when Adam and Eve ate the apple or fruit, they're seeing something that they didn't see before. They've seen a perspective of themselves from Satan's side. So they hid. They didn't hid because they were ashamed of their bodies. I don't know how many years has Adam and Eve seen each other naked, but it was nothing new to them, so they were not afraid. They were not ashamed of being naked. They were ashamed of the fact that they were naked. Take a kid going in the cookie jar before dinner, and when confronted, if he took the cookie out of the cookie jar, he will put on a false face. He will hide his true nature and lie about it. That's what Adam and Eve did. They hid their true nature because they were ashamed of what they did. So they hid, not because they were naked, because they were ashamed of what they did. Yeah, but you got to understand, we get the part about the scripture where it says, well, if they were ashamed, why did God clothe them? Well, God didn't clothe them because they were naked. Now you got to understand, Garden of Eden was a perfect environment. It was like 68 degrees. It was sunny. There was no winter. There was no heat spells. So they didn't have anything to worry about. Now, they left the Garden of Eden. And what did they face when they left the Garden of Eden? They faced the summer months, which is extremely hot, spring, which is cool, and the winter, if you live in Michigan, definitely is cold. So they clothe themselves because of the weather. Even in Asia, or Korea, Japan, or even in Australia, it does get cold. It may not get cold as here in Michigan, where it's like 5 or 10 below, but it gets kind of, cold, like 30, 40, or 50 degrees. It's a little chilly there. And some parts, the high altitudes, you get snow. But most parts in the plains, you're talking about 50 or 60 degrees as the coldest. So, if at the Garden of Eden, which was in Asia, the exact location's unknown, that's why they were clothed, to protect them from the weather. Now, being naked, there's different kinds. There's the naturalist. The naturalist is what I am. That means they have values and beliefs. They accept being naked as being naked. There's nothing wrong. They don't do it for personal satisfaction, and they don't try to excite people. Next is the nudist. Now the nudists, try to gear away from the natures because they like to. They're really close to exhibition, so I'm going to include them in the exhibition. The exhibition nudists do something for personal gratification. Now, the nudists is like Playboy or Penthouse, all those models. They are nudists. They do it for gratification. Now the exhibition, they do it to get arousal in themselves and others. Now, when we talk about nudums, we always talk about the last two. The nudist, who does it for money, and the exhibitionist, who does it for personal gratification and tries to get an arousal out of other people. That is not being naked. Naked is more towards naturalism, accepting who you are and what you are. Naturalist is having personal values and beliefs. I can walk in a room full of naked women and be perfectly content. No, I do not get aroused when I see a naked woman. That's superstition. Body chemistry, when erects certain parts of a male body, but that's natural. But overall, most nudists do not have an erection. So forget about that. Most nudists do not look at other people in a sexual arousal phase. There are some perverts. That's why we have laws in the world. We have, let me see, what was it? 90% of the people in the world obey the laws, and 10% break the laws. That's who we have the laws for, and that's who we should be ashamed of. Nowhere in the Bible does it say being naked is wrong. So get over your misconceptions and take off your clothes and be mature about it. Maturity begins at the age of 8. So, if you're taught that nakedness is wrong, it's like you have the head screwed up. Now think about being nude as something you enjoy. Have fun.